Hi everyone, my name is Clarissa. I am a Club Pilates Master Trainer, and I noticed that we as Pilates instructors throw out so many terms during class, and if you're a beginner or someone brand new to Pilates, you may not quite understand what those are. So I'm here to tell you a couple of things you should know prior to starting your Pilates journey. Let's begin. So, one of the first things we might say to you is place your feet in Pilates stance. So that just simply means heels together, toes apart. All right? Also known as a Pilates V with the feet. Now, sometimes you might have to turn your feet out a little bit more, or maybe your V might be a little bit smaller. All depends on your feet, but that's what your Pilates stance means. And next thing you might see is when you're on the reformer, or something else you might see, is you might say imprint your spine. And you're like, okay, what? I like to term it like this. Imprint is a press and lengthen of your lower back so it's flat. Not to be mistaken for gripping your hip flexors, which are located in between your belly button and your leg. So you don't want to grip, but it's more of a lengthen and release. I like to call it Elvis pelvis. So find your inner Elvis pelvis. When we ask you to come out of imprint or over exaggerate or arch the back, that's when your ribs start to flare, and the ribs are located right underneath your chest muscles, right here. That would be an arch. Now, when we say your pelvis is neutral or you have your hips neutral, that means there's just a baby arch, about 1 inch or so, maybe probably less than that, low key, less than that, a very, very small amount of space between your lower back and the floor. That would be what we call your neutral pelvis. And what is your pelvis? It is your hips. It is your uterus, everything that, or, if you're a man, then, well, you also have uterus there too. But your pelvis is everything that helps you walk. We'll just keep it simple. Every part of your body that helps you walk. So think of it as a band from like your belly button all the way down to your pubic bone, or the area in between your legs, depending on how you identify. That area would be your pelvis, okay, so to speak. So quick recap: imprint, you lengthen and reach your lower back away from your body. You arch, it's over exaggerated, your ribs, the little bony part right below your chest, that's an arch. And then neutral is in between. So that's something that you want to think about. Also, inhale, exhale. Some instructors might have you only inhale through your nose and out through your mouth. That's the breath. Something else you want to think about is the 100. That is a staple Pilates exercise that you'll see in almost every class, no matter the level or wherever you go. You bring your legs, we'll do the beginner version since it's beginner friendly. Your knees are in line with your hips. We call that tabletop position. That means, and I'm going to have my feet rest on the floor because I'm going to cheat, or onto the wall. That means your knees are in line with your hips and your ankles are in line with your kneecaps. Now, right now, because my feet are on the wall, they're not quite in line. Now they are. It's a 90-degree angle. If I was sitting in a chair, it would look like that. That is your tabletop position, okay? Then you have the option of doing a chest lift or a neck curl. When we ask you to do a neck curl or a chest lift, you want to be mindful that you're not just yanking the neck like this and getting all tight in the jaw. The chest lift aspect comes from literally your head, ear, and shoulder floating up at the same time. That is where your chest lift should live. If at any point you find it like this or like this, keep your head down or place your hands behind your head, lengthen out the back of your neck, float your head and shoulders up at the same time to help you look at your belly button, and that's when you know that you're in the proper position. Now, For the 100, this is when we begin pumping our arms up and down about 6 to 8 inches off the floor. It's big, vivacious pumps, and you want to be mindful not to just flap your wings like a birdie or go too far up and down unless otherwise instructed. That would be the 100. And lay yourself down. Another Pilates term that you might see in class or that you might hear is to make a C curve. That simply means that if I was on a surface, my body makes the letter C. So I like to use my arms underneath my knees. And you're simply imagining that you're a bad dog and you got your tail in between your legs. So you're curling under to get your lower back to gently touch the mat. Now be mindful that the shoulders don't come up near the ears. The shoulders still stay away from your ears, and you're creating more space, more of an obtuse angle for my mathematicians between your chest and your leg. Now it's acute, it's a shorter angle. Now it's obtuse, it's further away. So that is your C curve because you're curving your spine, rounding it. Last but certainly not least, you might hear an instructor say, pull your belly in and up or navel to spine. What does that simply mean? If I had on a pair of jeans, right? Or if I was zipping up something, it just means I'm zipping my abdominals in to get them engaged or active. It doesn't necessarily mean pull it in and you start gripping everything else. It just means that if I was buttoning my buttons, I would button maybe the button around my belly button, just above, all the way up, so I stay connected through my entire rectus abdominis, aka my abs or my six pack. And yes, you have one. So don't you think you don't. So I hope that helped kind of clear up a few Pilates terms that you might hear. And feel free, like, subscribe, and drop some comments below if there are other terms that you don't know, and I'll make a video to help out. Talk to you soon. Bye.